Hey, welcome back. This is my channel. My name is Evan and I'm a personal trainer. If you're new to the channel, welcome. But if you're coming back to it, thanks for showing back up. This is where I talk about health, fitness, and other fun stuff. I'm in my kitchen right now and I'm going to show you how to use a food scale, how to measure out food properly if you don't have a food scale, how to read a nutrition label, keeping it very simple, very basic. And yeah, just showing you what I do, or like just some helpful tips that I've come across. So hopefully you like this one. So stay tuned, stick around, and let's go. All right, so you want to use a food scale. Well, you're in luck because I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, this is just a very simple, easy to use tool. This has helped me with my own meal prep game very much. I love using one of these because it's just giving me a more accurate assessment of how much nutrition I'm actually consuming in my own diet, so that I'm able to better portion size out my meals for the week. Just a great overall tool, very cheap. Well, like fairly cheap, I should say, but you can get it on Amazon, you can go to Target, you can go to Walmart. Easily accessible and just easy to use. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, one thing you want to measure out with, like you just want to find some type of container to measure out your food with. I'm just going to use a bowl just to give you an example. But with this, you're going to go ahead, turn it on, and I'm going to put the bowl on top. Now, it's at 13.9 ounces. We want to make sure that before we start measuring, we want to set it at 0. Okay, so at the power and the tar button, you're going to go ahead and you're just going to tap it, and boom. Okay, it's reset to 0. Now you're going to go ahead, you can measure whatever you need to measure. So say that it's like, okay, I cooked up some chicken, I need about 6 ounces of chicken. Great, say no more. Go ahead and put in that 6 ounces of chicken there to measure out however many meals that you need to measure out. What if the unit of measurement isn't in ounces? What if it's in grams or in fluid ounces? Well, don't worry, it's already built into the food scale. You're gonna go ahead to the unit and you're gonna go and you're just gonna press on that. So boom, it's already changed to fluid ounces. And then you're gonna go ahead, oh, great. So grams is there as well. And then milliliters. You could use this for different measurements. So I like to use this a lot for measuring out how much protein I'm getting in my meal prep, or how much carbs I'm getting in my meal prep. But granted, with carbs, usually I'll just use something like a measuring cup. That's another way that you can actually help it. Like, depending on what the nutrition label says, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're using the right amount of measurements. So if it is like, if you're saying like, oh, I need a cup of rice, boom, here it is. If you're like, oh, I need a half a cup of oats, here you go. It's just an easy tool to use. Granted, I also like using a food scale for actually coffee as well. My roommate has a Chemex, so I like to use that for like getting the coffee grinds and measuring out that, so that I'm able to have good coffee in the morning. As far as like with tracking your food, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I personally like using MyFitnessPal. It's just an easy way for me to track my food. I don't have to write it down. It's all on the app, so that it's electronic. They actually have a thing where you can actually scan the barcode of the food, and then all the nutrition facts will show up. You can actually put that in to your food log on the app, and it will help you show you how many calories that you have consumed, and then show you kind of a list, give you the nutrition facts of how much you've had of each macronutrient, as well as other things like, you know, potassium, sodium, your vitamins, all that stuff too. Great tool to use. If the food that you have does not have a barcode, that's okay, because MyFitnessPal has been around for a while, so it actually has a very large database of food. You're gonna be able to find something that's very close to whatever you were cooking or whatever you're measuring out, and you could just plug that in, get as close as you can to the actual food that you have. It works just as fine. It's just a great way to like get some form of tracking of just some form of how much food you are consuming, just so that you know what, like, just so that you don't overeat by accident. Because sometimes we have higher calorie foods, and then we underestimate how much we're actually eating when we're thinking like, oh, I didn't eat that much, but then you look at your calories and you're like, holy cow, that's a lot. So it's just an easy, great tool to use. Now, as far as you're like, well, Evan, I don't want to do that at all. It's kind of, nah, like, it's too much. Sorry, I don't want that. Nah, that's okay. That's totally fine. What you can do is you can actually use one that's completely free. You could help measure out your food that's completely free, and actually you already have it. It's your hand. So your hand, you can do hand-sized portions for your meals if you want to like start implementing some meal prep, focusing on healthier meals in my diet that I can actually prep throughout the week, so that I can add more nutrient-dense foods into my diet, right? That's the main goal. We want to make sure that we're eating healthier so that we feel better and that we can actually do more with our lives. Now, the hand-sized portion, so the palm is protein. Protein, again, with all these hand-sized portions, about 1 to 2 servings is just fine. Now, it depends on what you want to do as far as like how much of each one you want to have, but generally for a balanced like example, like 1 to 2 of each of what I'm about to go over is going to be just fine. Palm is for your protein. A cupped hand is for your carbohydrates. Thumb for your fats. Fist for your vegetables. You want to make sure that you're getting, like I would say, a palm to 2 palms, 1 to 2 thumbs, 1 to 2 cups, and 1 to 2 fists and everything, just to have a balanced meal. So again, maybe having 2 or 3 of those, making a menu that like okay, so find something from each category. So what's the protein that I want to have for the week? What's the carbohydrate I want to have for the week? What's the veggies I want to consume? What are the fats that I can cook with or that I can add into my diet? And try to go from there. That's one way that you can do it without having to measure out your food with food scale or tracking your food. That is that, and yeah. Okay, so nutrition labels. This right here. It's important to just figure out what you need to know, or like just the simple basics. I'm not gonna go into every little thing on a nutrition label, but these are just some things that I look at whenever I'm looking for stuff to put into my little menu of food for the week. Rolled oats, these are just a staple in my breakfast usually. I love to have this kind of a standard like oatmeal and some eggs in the morning with some veggies and fruit. First thing I look at is actually the serving size. So looking at, okay, so how much is in a serving? How much do I need to measure out to get that serving? Half a cup, I don't need to use a food scale. I could just use just a measuring cup. Just scoop it, throw it in a bowl, put some water, cinnamon, heat it up, and then all that fun stuff. After that, overall calories. So obviously calories are important because you gotta understand how many calories you're consuming based on your goal, whether you want to lose weight or gain weight or just maintain. You gotta make sure that you're aware of the calorie amount that you are consuming. So 150 calories. And then here, I just kind of look at the actual macronutrients. So total fats, your total carbs, and your total protein. That's all that I look at just to keep it as simple as possible. Granted, like it's like obviously oatmeal has some fiber in it, which is good. A lot of veggies, a lot of fruits have higher in fiber, which is good for you. You want to make sure that you're having a good amount of fiber. I just make sure that I look at pretty much those things just to keep it as simple as possible. Those are the things that I like to use as far as like reading a nutrition label. And the great thing is with using an app like MyFitnessPal, you can go ahead and you just scan the barcode right here, and then everything that you see right here will pop up in the app, and then you can go ahead and add that into your food log for the day, and that will help you out measure or help you track your food, track your macros, and track your calories for the day. Just a helpful tip. So I think that might be it. All right guys, so that is it. That is the end of this video. I know, short but sweet, and I hope that it was helpful and informational and that you got something out of it, and yeah, if you guys like this video, please like the video. And if you're not subscribed yet already, press that subscribe button. I mean, if you want. But yeah, so, and if there's any other topic that you guys want me to talk about on this channel as far as anything that's health and fitness concerning, feel free to comment that down below. Or if you want me to go more in depth, again, comment down below. But thank you again for watching, guys. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And go Raptors. Yeah.